Yeah, massive win. Massive, and I think the performance was key as well. You can take defeats if you play well, and I think the week before Rovers weren't great. And the performance wasn't there, and Chris was rightly upset. And by all accounts yesterday was a different matter, and it was a team performance. And again, it comes back to numbers. Rugby league, and with the salary cap, I think it's a really good leveler. Teams get a couple of players missing, and they're having to dig deep in the squads, and sometimes play players who haven't played at Super League level or even played any games at all because of the stupid structure that we have. In rugby league, where you're having to be dual regged out, or if you're in the squad every week, you can't get dual regged out, but you can't play. There's nowhere for you to play. It's balmy, but Rovers have lacked a few of the bigger guns, and I think yesterday the Adam Walker coming back was a big plus for them. But I think Graham Horne's one of those players who people don't really know what he does until he's not there. And for me, that's a sign of a great player. When he's not there, you think, wow, we really miss Graham Horne. And you saw yesterday what just those couple of bits of quality that he can do. And again, he just solids up that style. And for me, as a coach, you pick someone and then you don't have to worry about them. And Graham Horne's one of the players. He'll give you 8 out of 10 every week, and they're coach's dreams because you put them in that position, you let them go, you let them play their own game, and you don't have to worry about them. And I think Graham Horne, has done that throughout his career. Wherever he's been, he just comes in, does the same job, gives you 100%, goes home and comes back and does it again next week. And I think he's been really, really missed by Hull KR.
This weekend, Warrington, Friday night, how do you see that going?
Yeah, big game. It's a massive game because Warrington aren't playing that great either. I saw Warrington yesterday. And they're certainly beatable. They're lacking a little bit of structure. They're just things aren't going right. From Darryl Clark hasn't having the impact that they would have hoped that he would have signing in from Castleford, and they are beatable. And Rovers, apart from the blip the other week at Cass, I've been pretty good at home. So again, it's a must win for Hull KR because Warrington are at that 6, 7, 8 position where Hull KR want to be in it, and you look at the table, probably talk about that in a little while, how tight it is, and it is the proverbial 4-point game, isn't it?
Huddersfield got under the skins of Warrington yesterday. Is that something Rovers have to do?
I wouldn't say they got under the skins. I think it was a niggly game, and I think a lot of it was caused by Warrington. And Huddersfield just stood up for themselves, I think, and sometimes if you poke a dog with a stick, don't be surprised if it bites you. And I think that's what happened yesterday, where Warrington tried to provoke Huddersfield a little bit, and Huddersfield rose to it and kicked on from it, and got the better of Warrington. I think with Warrington they've got some key players who are massive for them. I think Stephen Ratchford, if you can, he's always going to have an influence in the game because he's such a good player. But if you can limit that to a couple of things per half, you've got a good chance. If he can get in the game and start running the game, he's a big threat because he's such a good player. And I think a big blow for Warrington yesterday was Ben Curry got him. He's been great for them this season. And again, if he passes his head tests and stuff and plays on Friday night, he's going to be a big threat because he's a big unit, and he's got really good pace for a big guy, and he's a threat on the edges. So but Rovers have got threats too. And as I said, Buded's a great game yesterday, probably his best game in a Rovers shirt, and I think they needed that performance yesterday. But again, the story of Rovers season, they get a couple back, and then they'll lose a couple. It looks like Greeny's got a rib cartilage and probably won't play with that because and then we don't know the full extent of Josh's injury yet. We're still waiting to find out the full extent of Campo, but you can't expect that he'll play. So again, it's story of Rovers seasons. 2 come back and 2 go out the other side. So they are really struggling numbers wise, and it's been a tricky year for injuries. But that's the competition, and that's why the better sides adapt to it, because they've got a stronger squad, and they've got players who can step in, and as somebody goes out, it's a chance for somebody else to come in and prove the worth to the team. And I think that'll be the case this week with Hull KR.